Man, the Browns need some help on offense.
We need some kind of dynamic weapon, maybe a receiver, somebody that could just help us. We're done.
Welcome to Inside Cleveland Sports, where this week we get Josh Gordon back.
What?
What?
Yeah!
Yes! He's back!
Savior of the universe. Thus, He saved every one of us.
Welcome to Inside Cleveland Sports. We're live in the Film Boy Studios. I'm Sean, your host. This is Tank and Jameson. So, disappointing week. Lost this week, actually. Let's recap the game and give us your thoughts.
Well, where to start, actually? I see they brought back Agnew, which I think was a big mistake because the first thing that he did was drop a pass, like what he's good for. Hoyer, he didn't have a great. Actually, he kind of did in a way. Had a great game, 330 yards and a touchdown, but we just couldn't. We just couldn't. When we got downfield in the red zone, that's where we kind of just fell apart. And then Isaiah Crowell with his fumble that pretty much turned the game over. What do you think?
For me, I'm more than anything, I'm worried about the defense because it's most likely that we're going to lose Carlos Dansby to an MCL injury. Shear got hurt.
That defensive line is really down.
It's messed up. We lost Taylor for the season, so I'm worried about that defensively. Offensively, I think we'll bounce back. I mean, when we play bad, we play bad. We look terrible, and I just think we just need to step up in games like these, especially in situations where we need to expect to win these games.
Yeah.
We have to go in there knowing that we're better than Houston. We're trying to go in this playoff run. We're a contender. Go in there, beat these guys, and it's like the Jacksonville situation, honestly. We're the better team out there.
You know what's crazy is another team went through the same thing, but they just kept constantly winning. It just finally hit us last week with the Patriots when they lost pretty much their whole entire offense and their whole entire defense last year.
Right.
Tom Brady fought, got them into the playoffs. They went all the way to the AFC Championship.
Right.
It's coming down to us now too. We lost Jordan Cameron. We're losing lost Alex Mack. We were still fighting, still winning, and then we were down on defense with a couple of our linemen, and then yesterday it just hit us hard, and all these injuries are starting to just show up.
Well, we gotta focus on the next man has to step up. This is the NFL, and like how Arizona is doing with when Carson Palmer goes down, Drew Stanton steps in and is able to get them to a victory. A couple of things I wanted to recap from the game. Anybody notice how J.J. Watt played? Even though
how could you not? How could you not? This guy is just a monster.
Is he the defensive player of the year right now?
Oh,
he might be the offensive player of the year too. with that touchdown he had lined up as a tight end.
Yeah.
Oh, hands down.
Another thing I wanted to focus, you talked about Brian Hoyer. Yesterday, he had about 50 attempts. I felt like we didn't have a great balance on offense.
No,
we didn't.
He had 50 attempts in passing. He didn't have a bad game, but a decent game. But I felt like we need to rely on our run game. We only had 24 attempts in rushing. I think we need to go off of a more balanced approach with that.
It opens the offense up.
Yeah.
That's just the kind of team we are, right?
And if you listen to any of the sports talk shows, shout out to all of them. They all talk about the Browns and their three-headed monster at running back. Although, with Ben Tate, the last 2 weeks, it just not showing up. I mean, he had a touchdown last week against Cincinnati, but
I think he had
negative 9 yards on 2 or 3 attempts.
Well, to me, I think Ben Tate, I want to kind of elaborate on it. Ben Tate's kind of like the Deion Waiters of the team. He's got all this talent and he, talks a big game. I'm the best player in this, but he's not really a team player.
No,
and if you see Weston Crowell producing, you should be happy for those guys. I mean, you're going to get your touches, you're going to get to play, but you just got to be a team player. And obviously, like you guys said, he got 3 carries yesterday. He didn't do anything.
He should have. He should have seen it coming. I mean, Terrence West and Isaiah Crowell has shown up, especially when he went out. And you notice how a couple weeks ago Terrence West started, Ben Tate started.
Right.
It's time to give Isaiah Crowell a time to start. I'm thinking they're just going to keep doing it like that, rotating those three guys in. Yeah.
Let's go on. Like another cute thing from the loss that I picked up was time of possession. Houston was able to control that whole game with their run game, actually. And it's funny how you
Alfred
said,
Blue.
Yeah.
Another out of the blue.
Who is he? Who is this guy?
From LSU, actually.
I followed him I followed him. He was pretty good.
But one thing I wanted to say, like how we lost a lot of defensive linemen this week, and how we don't really have they was able to control the run game. That offensive line just stepped up and was able to just push and mash our defensive line.
And their O-line isn't even that good, actually. Yeah. I mean, they got Chris Myers and a couple of guys, but they're not, dominant. They're not one of the top lines in this league. So
another guy that hurt us was Grimes, their other running back.
Yeah.
So without Arian, together they were Arian Foster.
He looked like the fullback to me, as big as he was.
Oh,
God,
And then anybody see? I didn't notice how big of an arm, how strong of an arm Ryan Mallett has. He was able to make some deep throws. And get some very good passes off yesterday.
This was the battle of the Tom Brady proteges.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it showed. I mean, another thing like that with Brett Favre in Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers sat behind him. Look at Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah.
He's crushing people. I mean, embarrassing NFL teams right now. That's just crazy.
He did a relaxed thing, and he's been just killing it. Wow.
All right, we're going to move on. I want to get just a quick pick for next game. I know we play Atlanta next, and then I want to go around the league.
Okay.
Give me a quick score for this week's games coming up against Atlanta.
I think I'm gonna go back to what I've been saying. I think Atlanta's gonna end up beating us by a touchdown, but it's gonna be a high-scoring game because of Josh Gordon.
Oh yeah, the Flash. For me, I'm gonna have to go off for what Tank is saying. I always say believe in, and I do believe in, but I just feel that, Atlanta just, clinched the NFC South, the first place, excuse me. They just clinched first place in the NFC South. They're going to be playing for something. Obviously,
still a lot of football left, though.
Yeah, still a lot of football left, but they're going to be, up in arms, and they're going to be ready to play. I'm going to go Atlanta. I'm going to go with them 20, and I'm going to go with us 7.
That sounds good.
Well, I think Atlanta's going into it with a lot of momentum, and they still have something to play. Not as if we do, but we're playing them at home, and that home field advantage is going to be big for them.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to say Atlanta 37, and I'm going to give us 24.
Keep our average right around where we've been at.
That's true. That's true.
But let's go around the league. Let's touch on a few teams that I know we said this before, that are surprising, but that continue to surprise. People that continue to step up in their play around the league.
Mine. Well, I'm gonna touch on it a little bit, but go to another team. The Patriots. They're back. Gronkowski has just tearing up everything. Him and Tom Brady are just. They're unstoppable when they're together. And then you got the coach Belichick. But my surprise, it's not really a surprise because they've been there. But Green Bay, they're just tearing everybody apart. They're not showing any mercy.
What is he got? 26 touchdowns.
Yes, and I think they might come out of the NFC. They really might.
Now, would you say Rodgers is the offensive MVP right now? The way he's been
right now, yes, I do. I think he is.
I was thinking the same thing. I'd say for me, the game itself for me was the Eagles game. Mark Sanchez, or the Sanchez as it used to be called. Wow, I mean
the butt fumble man.
Definitely the butt fumble guy.
Oh, Rex Ryan.
I mean, what happened to the Eagles? I mean, he looked phenomenal last week, and then this week, I understand it was Green Bay, right? But they faced against Green Bay, but he just looked stagnant. The stats look pretty well, but it's just that it's like night and day with that team. And what happened to LaShawn McCoy?
Oh yeah,
he disappeared.
Where did he disappear to? My God.
And Darren Sproles too, because he was supposed to be the other guy that was supposed to be stepping it up.
And in the start of the season, he was having a phenomenal season. Yes, he got hurt, and he just hasn't really been the same.
Well, a team that I'm going to touch up on is out of the NFC West, which is Arizona, the best team in the league right now. I don't know how they're winning. Like they just find a way to win. Like I believe it's all with that coaching staff. Like they lose Carson Palmer. Their defense is not the best. I was actually last night looking up statistics where something that would stand out. Like it's like they're like that nice housewife and they're not good.
Great comparison.
They're doing decent stuff and they're playing. They're rising to the occasion.
Right.
And they're getting these wins. Their players are rising at the time. A point when they got to play a certain team and they're shutting that team down, whatever their offensive weapon from their defensive standpoint, and they're winning.
Just to piggyback off of what you said, like last year, Kansas City went 9-0 before their first loss.
Exactly.
It just takes that one loss to get exposed, and it might happen to Arizona this year.
That's true.
You're right.
And to piggyback off what you're saying with Arizona, this is without Darnell Dockett. Dockett's one of their top defensive linemen.
Yes, he is.
Everybody was saying with him leaving and his leadership is going to hurt the team. It hasn't done anything. I mean, I've actually think they gotten better on the line, because everybody's able to really show what they can do.
I just think their coach Bruce Arians, they're playing like specifically like they're a mold of him.
Right. Yeah, he's a good coach. He really is.
And we used to have him, by the way. He's one of our coordinators.
So, getting into college football right now, Ohio State.
OH.
I-O.
I know we touched on last week before, like a little bit before we touched on playoff implications and everything. What do you guys think? How did you guys feel about the Minnesota game? And what do you guys think about our playoff chances right now?
I think we're still good with some of the top teams losing, like Mississippi State, Arizona State, TCU. They got their loss coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
But during the Minnesota game, I don't think it hurt us too much because they actually are ranked. And their blowout they had last week against Iowa. I know Iowa's not a great team, but I don't think it hurt us that much. I think we'll still move up to maybe 7 or 6 in the rankings and continue to, get into the playoffs.
So I'm going to have to kind of disagree with you there, Tank. I actually think that this, even though it's a win, I kind of think it hurts us because, as we know, the judge and the board, they all go by style points. And, struggling against Penn State the week before as we did, and then, struggling against this Minnesota team, and they are ranked. I get that. It just shouldn't have been a game. Like, we should have blown these guys out by 2 or 3 touchdowns. And we're the better team, obviously.
Yeah.
And pretty much it was this Cobb, the running back that was just running all over us. It wasn't anybody else.
Keep in mind, I know we're Ohio State and we were used to playing in bad weather, but that was the first bad weather game.
Yes, it was.
That's
first
true.
of the
That's
season.
True.
And I felt like they just tried to keep us in a phone booth and slug it out with us. They did a good job with that, but we still able over the
kind of like classic Big Ten football,
overcome that.
And Cobb came out, like you said, came out of nowhere, man. I didn't know he was that great.
Right.
So, let's touch a little bit on the Cavs right now.
Okay.
LeBron James leading the league in scoring.
Woo.
Did anybody catch that Atlanta game where he, we was up, but he kind of got mad at his team?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like
that.
Because
defensive lapses.
Yeah, I kind of like that, because he needs to take. That's what I felt before. He needs to take more of a leadership role. But what are your thoughts on the Cavs right now?
I like what they're doing. I mean, I told everybody, just wait. They'll go ahead and they'll get everything together, and they are getting everything together as we see.
They are.
And LeBron's taking over. Kevin Durant. Kevin Love is having his time. Deion, Kyrie, they're all getting their good amount of touches. It's good to see that he's leading the league in scoring because usually that goes to Kevin Durant or Carmelo Anthony. I think this will help set that fire we need.
Well, I kind of want to go in a different direction. How about Joe Harris?
Oh, man.
I mean,
stepping up for Dellavedova.
Man. I mean, they're even talking about him possibly starting soon. I mean, he's much better defender than I thought he was. He can shoot the 3. Yeah. And that's why I was telling you guys, in the a couple of previous episodes, you said we need to get Ray Allen. I think if we don't get Ray Allen, I think this guy can fill the void, especially on the defensive role.
Did you see the last game where we had I think we had 11 3-pointers?
He had a couple of those.
11 for 11, which is unheard of. I mean, that's some kind of record right now.
They set a record. I think it was in the first half of a game, the most amount of 3-pointers or something like that. Yeah. They were crushing Atlanta. I felt bad for them for a little bit.
I don't, because they're the reason that we didn't get into the playoffs last year, the last game. So the hell with Atlanta.
Yeah, that is big. Well, this about wraps it up for this edition of Inside Cleveland Sports. This is Sean, Tank, and Jameson signing off. Be safe out there.
King of the impossible. He's for every one of us. Stand for every one of us. He's slave the body and every man and a woman and a child and a flash.